Hey folks, Reloading Bench back with you once again, and if you've followed my channel for any period of time, you will know, let's see if we get a little more lighting in here, you will know I have a penchant for collecting oddities, and one of those is National Cash Register stuff. So this is an old National Cash Register bill spike, receipt spike from I don't know when. There's a number on here, it says, that I have trouble reading. It's 43 dash, I can't tell. And I'm not sure how well the camera is picking this up due to its challenges with focus. And I'm kind of hoping that it's brass. Again, I was just surprised to see the spike is reasonably straight, not all the way straight, but straight enough, and looks like it's in not bad condition. So I thought I'd do a little test with my old friend from the military, Brasso. Nothing quite like the smell of Brasso in the morning or any other time of day. So I'm just gonna do a little spot check. I normally don't use Brasso to clean brass. I use it for other things, but for doing a little spot check like this, it should work just fine. It's very well packed. Showed up in today's mail. And the problem with Brasso is it gets everywhere. Alright. Let's see what color. I'm going to turn this around. I'm right-handed, so I'm thinking this is not brass, because I'm not seeing a yellow enough finish. So I'm thinking it might just be a metal. Yeah, well, that's a bummer. I was hoping this was going to be brass. I don't think that's brass. And in fact, what I'm going to do is, maybe I'll share this with you guys as well. I'm going to shove this in the blasting cabinet just right around here and see what that blasts off to, because I have some dirty media that needs to be changed. So this is pretty dirty, whatever. So let's reset the camera up over there and see how that looks. So unfortunately, it's not brass, and I should have known better, because if it was brass, whoever had it would have known to advertise it as such. But my media in the cabinet definitely needs to be changed. I think the gun was actually clogged a little bit. But this will, when I hit it with the buffing wheel, this will look great when it's finished. So you'll see, we'll call this the before and during, but you'll see what this restoration, I guess is a good word, a little bit of cleaning, nothing to restore per se. It's in really great condition. So this is probably, gosh, you know, I don't know how old. I'm going to say old. Older than me, I'm for sure. When's the last time you saw a receipt spike? That's especially for handwritten receipts. So, I don't know when we'll finish this one up. Depends on, I guess, the quarantine and all that stuff in terms of time. But nice old piece of history. More to come. All right, we are freehand, or rather free tripod. I spent a couple minutes on the polishing wheel and then cleaned that off in the cache area that I bead blasted a few minutes ago. So this will come out nice, and it will be quite quite eye-catching, but gosh, I wish it was brass. It would have been so much nicer if it was brass. So the hunt will continue for a brass receipt slash bill spike, because red brass, especially red brass, looks beautiful when it's restored. More to come. Well, since I'm trapped at home and the blasting cabinet, also known as, or better known as, Redzilla, needed immediate cleaning, and I got in there with a brush and did a lot of detail cleaning, as well as dusting it out, blowing it out, vacuuming, so that I could change the media. And the main reason, well, there were two reasons I changed the media. One, because I had done something that was incredibly rusty, and obviously the rust particles came off. And that media is kind of old, so maybe three reasons. And the third reason is because I wanted to change the media from glass bead to an abrasive bead. And the reason I wanted the abrasive bead is you can tell the difference on how nicely, I might do a little bit more like right in here. You can tell how nicely the surface was cleaned, I guess is a good word, a good way to put it. And you can now make out the letter and number. It's a 43B. I don't know if you can see that because of the focus, but this came out nicer than when I was trying to either hand polish or do a little bead blasting, because it wasn't clean enough to bead blast. And yeah, I'm going to get in here and give it another coat of the abrasive blasting so that the metal is kind of really clean. So when I get in there with the bead blast, which would be the next step, it should look a lot nicer before I do the wheel polish. More to come. So that is after the final abrasive blast. I don't know how good this will focus. Focusing failed according to what the screen is telling me, but it's a nice white. This is what a glass bead number 7 from Mike at Tacoma looks like. And the gloves are to keep the oils from my hand from damaging the luster. So that looks kind of nice. I haven't decided if I'm going to leave it like this or if I'm going to do a polish. So I think what I'm going to do is try and do a polish of the raised areas and leave the subdued background, or the pebbly-ish background, more of a satin. But that's, hopefully that gets picked up. That came out really nice. Super clean. 43-B. I know the light is picking up the luster. I just don't know if it's in focus. So that's brings back to life an old piece of hardware. Now some polishing. The weekend is done-ish, and so is my project. My weekend project, or one of my weekend projects. And this is the completed version of the bill spike, receipt spike, national cash register that I wish was in brass. But the last time you saw this, I want to say I had done the abrasive. The last two times I did the abrasive bead, and then a glass bead that peened it. And then I did a polish, and then I shot it with a clear coat. Because if you don't clear coat this really quick, in fact, I think it was on Friday when I did my first test of Brasso. I think I did the word cash. And after I did Brasso, I then washed it, soap and water, to get the Brasso residue off, which then obviously got the rest of the sweat. And then I dried it and brought it into the garage and then shot it with air, and thought that was that. By Saturday afternoon, I could see the rust buildup already on the on the lettering and material. So after I finished bead blasting with number 7 glass bead to give it the peen, and then polishing wheel to get everything, I would call it not highly polished, but a nice sheen to it, as well as on the back. And again, there's that 43-B, which I'll probably look up. I also did a lacquer coat on the back to prevent rusting. So the whole thing, as well as the spike. So the whole thing is bead blasted, polished, and then a coating of lacquer to prevent the oxidation rather, and any, I guess, rusting, hopefully. But that's it, and my search will continue because they came in 3 flavors: copper, brass, and I'll just call this steel because it rusted so fast. It wasn't a nickel, and if it was plated with something else over the years, it is worn off through time. But it's a very cool item. It looks like this is an original spike, and I've seen some where the spike is just completely skewed. This one has a slight bend to it, which I'm not going to try and fix because Murphy's Law says I will either snap it or make it so loose that it's just not worth it. There's a reason it bent, and I'm fine with that. So I will put some bills and receipts here and put it next to my actual national cash registers that maybe you have seen in some of my previous videos. But big fan of NCR, old NCR cash, national cash register memorabilia and items, especially things that I can restore. So that is it for this weekend's project, and it was a little one, fun one, and came out really nice. Take care.